Welcome back to the Low Bottom High Rise podcast. In this episode of Ask Me Anything, y'all, this question is so freaking good, and I think it's going to help so many of you guys because there's a lot to it. And I have been stuck answering this question for others that I mentor. I have been stuck in the past with struggling with this myself. And the question, it is, I have been in my business for several years now, and I feel like I am called to pivot. I feel like I'm called to possibly do something else. How do you decide when it's time to pivot and when it's time to stay the course? Okay, so we all hear these messages, right? Like, you have to stay consistent. You have to play the long game. You've got, successful people like Mr. Beast and Gary Vee. They did 1,000 episodes with 0 engagement and 0 followers before they found their success. So often we are in this place of feeling like we're doing it and we're doing it and we're doing it and we're years in per the question, and we're not finding the success that we want to find. How do we decipher, and I'm just clarifying the question, how do we decipher between I just need to keep going or this isn't for me? And here is something that I really want you to take to heart. And this was actually a question that I went over on a podcast episode just recently. So you're going to hear this question again, but it bears repeating. The most important thing, the most important part of this is you have to give yourself a serious gut check, because you might not be doing the work to find the success, right? You might not be showing up as the person that is going to close the gap between where you are and the success that you want to have, the goals that you want to achieve. And so a lot of times, most of the time, people are asking this question from a place and a space of not really truly having been doing the work, right? Like, they can look back on, if you've been in this business for years, whatever business that is, are you really showing up like an achiever 5, 6, 7 days a week? Are you doing all the things? When Gary Vee or Mr. Beast are cutting like 1,000 episodes, I would say they're doing the dang thing, right? They're doing the work to one day find the success. And so you have to gut check yourself on that and really ask yourself, are you not finding success because it's not meant to be? It's not your calling. It's not your purpose. Or are you really not finding success because you're really not doing the work, right? Here's the other thing that I want to clarify here that's so important. So I remember learning this years ago, and I'm going to probably sum it up and probably butcher it is what I was going to say. But Tony Robbins teaches kind of a philosophy of the blueprint. So if I have a blueprint for life, and my blueprint belief is something like, I need to make 100 grand in order to be happy, in order to feel successful. And I am not at that income space and I'm making 50 grand, then there's, a gap, right? So that's where unhappiness is found, because it's my belief that I need to be, and weight is a great example too, right? I need to be X amount of pounds to be healthy and happy. And if you're not at that place, there's incongruency. There's a gap. You're not happy because you're not where your belief says that you are going to be happy, you are going to be successful. So here's the thing, and I have had many conversations over the years where I'm like, listen, this is your goal. You're feeling unhappy. You're feeling low energy because you're down here and you're staying here. But you've got to either let go of the goals or do the work to close the gap. Because again, so many people that are down here and far away from their goals, their vision, what they believe would make them successful, would make them happy, they're not doing the work. And so they're kind of creating their own misery because they are the ones creating the gap. And so I always give permission to people that I'm mentoring, and it is kind of a wake-up call for them, that I'm like, listen, you can change your blueprint. You don't have to stay miserable, because obviously it's been a long time. You're still not doing the work. And if you're still not doing the work, the only thing you can change is you can A, do the freaking work, right? Or B, change your belief system, change your blueprint. lower the bar. Because there's also some truth here, right? Do we actually need to weigh a certain thing to be happy, to be healthy? Maybe not. Maybe that does need to change. Do you actually need to make that 6-figure goal or that 7-figure goal in order to feel successful? Can you find your success at a lower income bracket? Can you find your fulfillment in different areas of your life? So changing the blueprint, changing the beliefs that we have, getting clear on what they are, or deciding to do the freaking work, right? That is the gap. When people are not motivated, right? When they're not feeling energy, I should say, not necessarily motivated. They're not like energized to do the work. They're not energized to do the thing. There's two things that are happening. They either don't have a clear enough vision, because when you know where you're going, when you are excited and fired up and you know your why, you have the motivation, you have the energy, you're freaking excited, right? But so much of your lack of energy is self-imposed. You have a lack of energy because you keep showing yourself every single day that you're not doing the work. And that feels like crap, right? I know what I'm capable of. I know what's possible. All these people around me are having this level of success. You're not having that level of success because it's not possible, which is how our mind kind of paints the story sometimes. You're not having that level of success because you're not doing the freaking work, right? So either level up, make a freaking decision and get into action, or redesign your blueprint, redesign your belief. So I hope that helps. That gut check of the clarity behind, when do I know if it's time to pivot away from the thing that I've been doing versus when do I know to just stay in the game and keep staying consistent? The answer is, are you really being consistent with the work? That's it for today, guys. Thanks for joining in, and I'll see you next week on Ask Me Anything.